Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul contract signing happened tonight on SmackDown. We have King and Queen of the Ring updates, all of it, right now on In This Very Ring.
I can't believe it! Yes! Yes! A Rock is going to WrestleMania! Randy in position for another curb stop. Oh, my God! Unbelievable counter! Oh, my God! Unbelievable!
Good evening and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another edition of In This Very Ring, right here live on A2D Radio. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I am the man known as Ritz, and joining me as he does each and every Friday night, it's the mayor of Toasty Town. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Butters!
Hi.
You know, you'd think I'd be used to it by now. I do this great promo for you, right? Everything like that, and I get a... What are you doing?
I don't know.
That was like some weird, like, Hogan, like, ninja thing. Like, what? What are we doing?
So, Ninja Hogan. Woo!
Huh.
So, since you're the best there is, best there ever was, whatever, does that mean you're going to buy the belt?
I'm spending that money. I can do a lot of different things with that money.
Oh, you don't want to spend $750 on a Bret Hart commemorative belt?
No, I'm good. I think that might be one of the dumbest things that anybody's ever suggested to me.
But it's limited to 300 something.
If I didn't buy the Undertaker one, what makes you think I'm going to buy this one?
Yeah, true.
That being said, we are brought to you by our friends at Alan Z Travel. Alan Z Travel specializes in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including yours truly, create a custom vacation for you without any of the stress. Alan Z on over to alanz-travel.com/ take the trip to get in touch with myself or Eagles Talk on A2D, Chuck's Moranin, and we can get you all squared away. Both of us just got back from awesome Disney trips. I was in Disneyland. Chuck's was in Disney World. We had some pretty cool moments, pretty cool stories. We were talking all week long. So we've got a lot to share on that in another date and time. All right. So it's been a while since I've been on. You and Pete held things down last week. You guys talked about early King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, I'm heavy enough to hold things down.
Huh?
I said I'm heavy enough to hold things down.
No comment. But you guys are just kind of kicking things off. Tonight, we're going to go a little bit of a different direction to start things off. In Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for WWE King and Queen of the Ring, we are going to have a championship match. It is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. And at the time we wrote the show earlier today, it was champion versus champion, title versus title. That was at least what we were all led to believe. So that's why our poll question tonight reflects that. Cody Rhodes should not hold two titles. Now, we saw on SmackDown at a weirdly timed contract signing. The whole show was formatted weird, but I digress. It is not that. Logan Paul doesn't feel that Cody Rhodes has earned his opportunity to challenge him for the United States Championship. So Cody signed a contract where it's just an undisputed WWE Championship on the line. I think that will change ultimately. I do think we will see Rhodes and Paul for both titles at Jeddah. We still have that one SmackDown in Saudi Arabia next week. Excuse me.
It's okay. You don't have to cry about it. We might get our champion versus champion.
Oh, no, I had a sneeze coming. We might still get that next week. We have that match, that SmackDown in Jeddah. And I think we'll see some of the last finite details being laid out. But Butters, I let's go on the assumption for a second that it does become champion versus champion. Because ever since that match got announced, what was it, last week before, where Logan came out and challenged Cody, ever since that night, everybody's been talking. Should Cody hold the title, both titles? Should he not hold both titles? Right? Should Logan Paul even be Cody's next opponent? What do you think? Should he hold both titles or not?
I mean, it wouldn't be too bad if he was holding both titles, even for a little bit. I mean, You don't have to keep the titles on him the U.S. title on him forever. But I mean, I could agree to the poll and say, hey, cool, Grand Slam champion. All right, let's do this, just to give him that title of Grand Slam champion, and then pass the belt on.
But do you really want to do I get saying Cody because Cody's going to be the future of your company. Cody's going to be this. Cody's going to be that. Do you really want to say that Cody is a Grand Slam champion at this point?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help either.
Well, but I think it does hurt because eventually he's going to lose that title.
Mm-hmm.
Have to lose that title. Right? So will that hurt his main title run by losing the U.S. title? Or are you going to have to put him in a match, a triple threat, a fatal four-way, a six-pack challenge, something like that where he is taken out of the match.
Yep.
In some way, shape, or form. And
why not? They love their fatal four-ways, their six-pack challenges.
No, I get that. I do. But is this really necessary? Marley chiming in. Oh, there you go. Marley chiming in. Agree. We don't need him holding the U.S. title just to pad his stats. And I'm a Cody Rhodes fan. I've been a Cody Rhodes fan for a long time, but I agree with Marley, and I agree to the poll. There is no reason right now, 2 months removed from WrestleMania. I'm sorry, a month removed from WrestleMania, that you need to take the U.S. title that's been sitting on Logan Paul's shoulder for a while now.
Yep.
Right? And put it on Cody's. There are so many other people that you could have put that title. Like if you want to take the title off of Cody, if that's your plan, there are a million different ways to do it. Not Cody, Logan Paul. Sorry.
I mean, you could easily have it champion versus champion, have a smallish finish, and neither one of them walk out winning the belts.
But it goes further than that. You don't need Logan versus Cody here when you have LA Knight sitting in the wings. When you've got who else is on SmackDown? Even Randy. Yes, Randy's in the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, but you've got Randy. You've got Carmelo. You've got who? Give me another name that's on SmackDown that would go for the U.S. title.
Tama Tonga.
Yeah, you've got the entire bloodline. You've got Kevin Owens, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got all these people that could go for that title.
And I get it, they're a tag team, but you got Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah, you have the guys of DIY. There's a million different ways to do the U.S. title if you're trying to get it off of Logan. I know Logan's all in on WWE and wrestling, and kudos to him, right? He gets a bad rap, but he's worked really hard since being in the WWE. He's given it all, so I can't deny him that. So kudos to Logan. But if you're trying to go a different route with him with this, right? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Should it look like this? And I don't think it does. I don't think it needs it. Pete Evans chiming in. Yo, Pete, what's up, buddy? We sending you our love tonight.
Yo, Pete.
Pete will be back on with us next week. He's got some family matters to attend to this evening. But I'll go back to he shouldn't hold the titles. You don't need to make him a Grand Slam champion. Let him chase the U.S. title properly. If you're going to build this Grand Slam. Because now if he wins, let's just say they do. They do put the U.S. title on him next week in Saudi Arabia. No one's going to care that he's a Grand Slam champion. Everybody's going to be talking about why is Cody Rhodes taking over SmackDown?
Yeah.
For no reason.
And I get it.
We had that report. Was that report sent in our chat or was it my other chat? I think it was my other chat. I want to read this report to you. So this is from Slice Wrestling. This was sent to me on Monday. Logan Paul is consistently trying to get better and better in the WWE ring, and he requested to face Cody Rhodes in a premium live event match. So far, I got no problem with this. You want to fight Cody? You want to fight? You want to go to the mountaintop and fight the guy? Awesome. WWE wants Cody to have a dominant, undisputed WWE title run while competing against top-tier challengers. Okay, still no problem, right? You want to create this dominant presence around Cody, have him, set his stage and defend his title with honor, integrity, and be a true fighting champion. Great. WWE wants to replicate the Roman Reigns run with Cody Rhodes as much as possible, and plans have been discussed for Cody Rhodes to hold 2 titles simultaneously. And now I have a problem. The Roman Reigns run worked because you had so many different elements of storytelling happening. Not only did you have, Roman just turned heel. Oh, Roman's a Paul Heyman guy. Oh, wait, this thing with Jimmy and Jay and this bloodline and this and that. And you had so many elements building into his story at all times. And there was always that bloodline factor, that familial factor. Right? Yep. You don't have that with Cody here. Cody is alone on an island by himself. You don't have these other people to play off of. I thought the program with AJ Styles was great. That was a great first challenge for Cody. But now you're going into Logan Paul and you're like, wait a minute. What more? What is the in-depth storytelling other than Cody Rhodes is a Rhodes? He is wrestling royalty. He's a wrestling legacy. And then you have Logan Paul, who admittedly made a name for himself being a moron on YouTube.
He's a social media influencer, boys and girls.
But we talk about it in a mocking fashion. That's our society now. I mean, my God, we're doing a show we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it today. Right? So that's the way that, like, people, when everybody's got a podcast, everybody's got a show, everybody's got some kind of social media facet. Right? And some people make it, some people don't. Some people pop off and do fantastic. And Logan was one of those people. He got in at the right time. He followed the trends. He made a name for himself. And he did everything he had to. So you got to admit, there's some legitimacy there, but not in the wrestling ring. He's still a rookie in my eyes. This report continues. Cody Rhodes holding both the the Undisputed WWE and WWE United States Championships has been discussed at recent WWE creative meetings and is close to becoming a reality at the King and Queen of the Ring, PLE. WWE has also instructed the merchandise department to begin beating unique Cody Rhodes WWE United States Championship merchandise as they want to incorporate the American Nightmare slogan within the United States Championship. And that's why I waited on Todd's comment. Gotta sell those new belts. That's the only thing here that if Cody wins, right, we see a belt redesign for the U.S. title. I think it's
we see the American Nightmare logo as the United States Championship.
Exactly. We see that belt redesign. And the United States title has always been one where it's taken the shape of the wearer, for lack of a better phrase. Right? John with the spinner belt. Edge, when he incorporated the spinner belt into it. Right? Kind of going a little old school. And then this new stuff. It's always been one where we're going to test the waters on things.
Yeah.
Right? And then that report finishes saying, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul is sure to be an exciting match in the WWE universe. So, I will agree to that. Logan is good. He had a match against Roman Reigns. A lot of people forget that, right? His third match in the WWE was for the Universal Undisputed I-95 Intergalactic Championship. Brian Wilson and Greg Milakovic both chiming in. What's up, gentlemen? How are we tonight? But Butters, I want to hear from you because you are on the other side of this coin. Right? You think Cody Rhodes should win the U.S. title.
I mean, again, why not? I mean, yeah, pads and stats. I know nobody likes that, but you can have a double champion for a little bit, and when he loses the belt, it doesn't have to hurt his title reign. It's not hurting his WWE Undisputed title reign. It's only going to hurt the fact that, he lost the U.S. title. He can't defend both belts.
So first things first, angle your camera up just a little bit. You're cut off just a hair. Too much. Right there. Perfect. Now, second of all, okay, just because you can do it, should you?
Sure, why not? It's WWE, man.
Yeah, but that's not a good enough answer. I'm sorry. I'm going to challenge you a little bit here because this is one of those few moments where we are on different sides of this coin.
Mm.
And so I ask you, other than padding his stats, other than you can do it, right? You can get away with it. Give me a good reason. Give me a good reason why on May 25th we wake up and we say Cody Rhodes is the undisputed WWE champion and the WWE United States champion, and I'm okay with this.
I mean, the U.S. title kind of goes with that gimmick, the American Nightmare. I mean, you've got Memorial Day coming up on Monday. You kind of have that American theme just rolling. It fits it for the moment. And again, you can have somebody like LA Knight come in and swoop the title away from him, but it just
so you're basing this whole argument, this whole agree stance, on the fact that it just goes with his nickname.
I wouldn't say a nickname, but yeah.
But it is a nickname for him. The American Nightmare. It's a tagline. It's a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
It goes with his gimmick. So that's what you're basing this whole thing off of.
Sure.
I'm hard pressed to sit here and not just be like, well, it's a lazy way out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I can't think of a better word for it. And I'm not trying to be insulting on it.
No.
And for the record, I get where you're coming from. I mean, my God, I'm a Disney guy, right? And everything's about theming when we start talking about where we're going to stay and what we're going to do and how we're going to do the parks and everything like that. But
I mean, what's better than waking up Memorial Day weekend and seeing a new United States champion, the American Nightmare, instead of some YouTuber named Logan Paul?
But
his brother's going to get knocked out in a few days.
And well, I love that line in the promo, by the way. When a WWE Hall of Famer is going to knock out your brother, and then and then a future Hall of Famer is going to knock you out. I love the line. But you're thinking so short term with this. You're thinking an immediate gratification, and you think that everybody's patriotism or the visual of the American Nightmare is the U.S. champion on Memorial Day weekend. Shut up. I don't mean shut up, but like, come on.
I know what you mean.
Right? Putting another title on him, and Greg says it here, right? No one should hold two titles. When Seth had both titles, when Sting was around back in, what was that? Right around 31.
Mm-hmm.
So about almost 10 years ago. You always felt like the U.S. title was a second note. Right? Because even John Cena fought for the U.S. title at that Night of Champions here in Houston. Sting fought for the world title.
Yeah.
So even that was a second note for the WWE. But that secondary title always gets forgotten about. And we're not going to absorb the United States title because then you limit what everybody's able to do on SmackDown. You have to have that mid-card title.
Yep.
Taking the mid-card championship and putting it on your top guy 40 days into his title run. What that tells me, you have no faith in your mid-card talent right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have nothing for them to do, which is a different and bigger problem, but I don't think we're running into that problem right now.
No.
Everybody is being utilized so well. You said it before we came on the air, and I'm actually surprised that we haven't mentioned it yet. There's a feeling between you and I that maybe WWE backed themselves into a corner by not specifying that only Cody's title was on the line when this match was announced.
Yep.
Right?
Because Cody's promo last week made it sound like both titles were going to be on the line.
Correct.
And then WWE went with it for the contract signing.
And with the tagline of champion versus champion, what did you really expect the WWE Universe to do? So I do think that tonight the awkwardness of this contract signing, the dismissal of Nick Aldis, the lawyer that got more heat than Dominic Mysterio, right? All of in a weird spot. You're in like that last half hour point. Because I think it went on about, we're in Central Time, so about 8:30, so 9:30 Eastern Time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, with still a half an hour left of SmackDown to go. You still had another King of the Ring semifinal match, or no, quarterfinals match, I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah.
You still had that on the horizon, which ended predictably, and then you had a weird moment with Orton and Tonga, which the promo just fell flat to end out SmackDown. So you do this, and it's right. We're trying to right the ship. Logan Paul is the right chicken shit heel to say, hey, walk out there with this lawyer guy, pop out a new contract, and be the mega heel you're supposed to be, and take that title opportunity away from Cody so we can fix everything. I think that was what the direction was given. I don't think there's a small part of me, and it's not, it's one avenue.
Yeah.
I don't think that WWE fully grasped what they were saying and what people were saying on social media.
I mean, unless this was their plan all along and it just, the fans were just trying to go, oh, no. I mean.
And they very well could. They very well could have, which it's happened before. The fans have taken the ball and ran and created. I mean, look at what they did with Daniel Bryan back at WrestleMania 30.
Yep.
Right? The fans created that moment. Yeah. Look at the Backlash France crowd. They created all those moments, and they changed the way that now WWE fans stateside act. So the fans are such a big part, and everybody will tell you that too. They're such a big part of the show that they can sway things. That's why I do still think that we're going to get champion versus champion, title versus title in Saudi Arabia. I think that we're going to have that next week somehow. We're going to somehow set that stage.
I mean, you could set it up easily, and I know it'd be a chicken shit bullshit way. You can go, oh, well, we looked on SmackDown and it happened, but you can have Nick Aldis say, hey, Logan, you forgot to sign this contract. And then before the match starts, goes, oh, by the way, this is the contract for both titles.
You could do that. The problem I see with that, and I'm nitpicking a problem at this point for that one, right? Is Nick Aldis and Logan Paul don't really have that interaction. There is no precedent for Nick to quote unquote screw Logan over like that.
I mean, there is after tonight.
Just a little bit, but I don't know if it's enough. Right? You've kind of kept Nick Aldis at bay. You've kind of kept him this by the books kind of like him and Adam Pearce both. They're not flooding the night. They're not everywhere. They're there when it's truly an authoritative figure is needed. And they make the by the book decision and they move on, and then they flank Triple H when he's around, as a general manager should do when your boss shows up. They do it perfectly. I would love to see Nick throw a punch, get a little physical, right? And Adam Pearce. Well, I remind the world that these guys are not just executives. These guys are wrestlers. Nick Aldis is a former multi-time champion, and I think Adam Pearce is even an NWA champion.
Yep, he's held the 10 pounds of gold a couple times, I do believe.
Exactly.
So they know a thing or two about a title, and they know a thing or two about throwing hands. So they know they're not just straight pushovers.
Exactly, and I thought we were going to see that leading into Survivor Series. I really did.
Adam
Pearce, or even WrestleMania.
Adam Pearce may look like a pushover, but half the time when you watch him, it's just he does that just to get them out of the way.
Exactly. There's always a message to his
know what? I'm tired of listening to you. Whatever. Bye. Go.
But let's transition. Let's start talking the King and Queen of the Ring. We have some new developments as far as like people advancing, different things like that. So let's get I'm gonna pull up
Pull up the bracket.
Yeah, I wonder if I can get this on.
Wiki's always got it.
No, I know, but I want to make sure that I get it on a full screen. So let me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Let me put this up there. All right, here we go. All right. Nope, we're going to pull it back out just a little bit. That way we can see the whole bracket. So we're going to start with the men's side of things first. Okay. We had Gunther and Sheamus. Gunther took the win there. Kofi, Rey Mysterio, Kofi took the win. Ricochet and Ilya took the win. And this is the Raw side of the bracket, right? Finn Balor, Jey Uso took the win. From there, you had Gunther and Kofi Kingston. Gunther took the win there. Ilya and Jey took the win there. So in
that was a big enough shocker that I felt like that match could have gone either way. I mean, as me and Pete discussed last week, it's hard for Jey to lose another big match.
Correct.
So giving him this win, okay. Jey's still, rocking and rolling hard. He deserves the win. So now it's going to be, can Jey take down Gunther?
And that'll be a big deciding factor as well. Right? It's that next step. You're taking down somebody you haven't been able to beat before.
Yeah.
You go back to their IC title matches.
He came close, but his brother.
Yep. Those two will square off Monday on Raw. The winner of that match will face the winner of the SmackDown bracket. We're going to go over that right now. AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Randy Orton took the win. Baron Corbin, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes took the win. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Took the win over Santos Escobar. Angelo Dawkins and Tama Tonga squared off, and Tama Tonga took the win over Angelo. Randy and Carmelo met tonight. Randy won. LA Knight and Tama Tonga met tonight. Tama Tonga won. So now next week.
Outside interference.
Well, yeah. But next week at the SmackDown in Jeddah, you'll have Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. Mm-hmm. This is setting up for Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. And I think this is where we get that next chapter, right? Because we got it last time in France. We got Tama's brother showing up.
Yep.
Right? But now I think this is where we'll see Jimmy come back and side with his brother. And we'll start seeing those Civil War battle lines being drawn.
I hope so.
At least the start of it, right? Because they are on different shows. So you can start really laying that groundwork here. It's a great place. This is where both shows are there. They're highlighted. Everybody from the bloodline is there. There's ways to do this. The winners of those two matches will square off at the King of the Ring in Jeddah the next day on the 25th. And I think Jey needs to win here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would do great for his character right now, the main event status. I think that Tama doesn't need it right now. I think that would elevate him to a role of power within the bloodline that they're just not wanting to highlight for him. They need to make it the Solo Sikoa show.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish Solo was in this tournament. Instead of Tama, I wish it was Solo. Because then it would really fit. Solo goes on, becomes the king of the ring, right? It legitimizes his role in the bloodline.
It legitimizes his role as a tribal chief.
Also that as well. Eric Bischoff, when he heard the news, he broke out the champagne.
But I mean, if you don't go bloodline versus bloodline, then of course, more than likely it'd be Gunther Orton.
Absolutely. Sean Spellman, I see Orton winning, Rikishi and Jimmy Uso coming out to help Orton. I don't see the Rikishi play here in Jeddah. If you're going to do Rikishi, I think that happens stateside.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's going to be more to it. You can't just bring Rikishi down with Jimmy. You have to have Tama. And isn't Tama's dad Haku? Yeah, he's a nephew and adopted son of Haku.
Yep.
Let's get into the Queen of the Ring tournament. This is where we've got a lot to talk about as well. Maxine Dupree and Shayna Baszler squared off. Shayna took the win naturally there. Feel bad for Maxine. They hyped her up of taking Zelina Vega's spot, and then they're like, oh, but you're going to go against Shayna, and Shayna's going to wreck you.
Yeah.
Io Sky and Natalya. Io takes the win there. Dakota Kai, Lyra Valkyria. Lyra takes the win.
Whoop, whoop.
Ivy Nile, Zoe Stark. Zoe takes the win. That's the Raw bracket. That moves into Shayna Io, with Io taking the win over Shayna, which I thought was surprising.
I did too.
I would have figured you would have built. You could have done one of two ways. One, you built this Shayna and Zoe colliding on SmackDown, and not to break them up or anything, but just it's a nature of the beast kind of thing. But also, Io had her time in the spotlight. You don't need to do this for Damage Control.
You don't want the Queen of the Sky?
It's a good tagline, but I don't see them doing it.
Yeah.
Right? I very much see Lyra Valkyria winning on Monday. She will face Io
I'm
Sky.
rooting for her all the way, baby.
I think she'll be in the finals, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wins the Raw side. So moving over to the SmackDown side, we got Naomi versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax takes the win. Jade Cargill versus Piper Niven. Jade takes the win. Michin versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton takes the win. And then Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae. Bianca squashes Candice in no time flat. And then Nia and Jade. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Let's do this one. Tiffany and Bianca met tonight. Bianca took the win here. So the Jade Nia match was happening later on, and everybody thought, "Oh, we're gonna pit the tag team champions against each other." We're gonna
kind of like we thought with the Shayna Zoe thing.
Yeah, but this one was a lot more in your face of a conversation after tonight.
Yes.
It was almost just ta-da, right? But then Jade would end up getting herself disqualified following a chair shot to Nia, which Nia hit Jade first. But now it's gonna be Nia versus Bianca Belair.
I see this little trend of Nia taking on each of the women of this little faction they've built. All three of them. She's gone through, she went through Naomi, now Jade, now she's got to try to, beat Bianca.
So I have you seen I don't want to say the rumors, right? But the stories that are coming out that Bianca might be pregnant.
Yep. That's kind of why I was shocked tonight that she was either A, wrestling, and B, won.
Yeah. And then doing some of the stuff she was doing and taking the moves from Tiffany. But somebody pointed out that Bianca does a handspring right, off the ropes, and Tiffany goes to kick her in the midsection. If you watch it very closely, Tiffany just barely taps her, which isn't normal.
Well,
right?
no. Tiffany tapped the knee. If you actually watch it, she never even connects with the gut. She connects with the leg.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, they call it a gut shot, but she literally
so
connects.
the video I watched, it was a little bit slowed down. They put a lot of focus on the foot not touching, and not so much the knee. So that's where my eyes were drawn to that part.
She did. It was supposed to be, the whole gut check thing that we're talking about. But when she connects, you can see she connects with the leg, or she doesn't connect with the leg. She barely even, it was just like a and stop.
Yeah.
So I mean, she very well could be. I mean, Becky wrestled pregnant.
Yeah, until she couldn't.
She beat Shayna.
Yep. So it'll be very interesting to see, especially going into a match against Nia Jax. I don't think, if the rumors are true, I don't think we see Bianca winning.
Nope.
Which would change how I think it's going to go. Like, I still think Lyra Valkyria wins. Right?
Yeah.
I still think Lyra wins.
I'm 100% Lyra the whole way.
Oh, I am too.
I feel like this would be a great moment for an upcoming NXT superstar that just got drafted to the main roster.
Well, and coming off her NXT title run, I think this is the next best thing. When you look at all the people here, everybody in this tournament has made a name for themselves on the main roster.
Yep.
Even Tiffany Stratton. But Lyra needs something to get the fans behind her with, and having her be the queen of the ring will really just play into all of that. And I think it's a great move for them to do with her right now.
Yeah. I agree 100% because, Lyra, like I said, I'm rooting for this girl 100% all the way. I was happy she got called up to the main roster. I'm glad to see she's going further and further with this tournament because, I mean, things could have gone a different route.
100%.
They could have gone with Zoe.
So Spellman says, when do we see Logan Paul versus Orton for the belt? Brass Knuckles Redemption. What's the next pay-per-view after this? Clash of the Castle?
Yep.
And so you have NXT Battleground. After Battleground will be Clash of the Castle. That's going to be on June 15th. June 15th.
Middle of June.
Yep, middle of June.
Middle of June in the middle of the day.
Love it. So, but I really do think, when you think about Xavier Woods not being there and Zelina Vega not being there, those are your last two King and Queen of the Ring. It would have been nice to see, Zelina kind of go the distance, and I think it would work for the LWO kind of carry.
I would have liked to have seen at least one back-to-back King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring just once.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it would have been perfect to do it for Zelina. She's kind of, since joining the LWO, she's kind of fallen flat with her character development and what they're doing.
Yep. Because she doesn't wrestle as much.
No, she does not. And what she's done with Elektra Lopez on the other side of with Legado del Fantasma, Elektra's not all that great. No disrespect to her, but Zelina is capable of much, much more. And I know why you said bless you.
Thank you, Sean.
Where was I? I was on a roll. Aha! I found it again. Elektra Lopez just isn't ready to do the Zelina Vega type matches that we've become accustomed to seeing with her.
Yes,
because she has put in a lot of work and a lot of effort. She is vastly different from when she was just Andrade's manager.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
She's come a long way. She had an amazing match in Puerto Rico with Rhea.
Yep. I thought she was going to win that match.
I was hoping she was going to win that match.
And with Xavier Woods going down, now Xavier winning back to back, I don't think I would have liked it. Now, would I have liked Kofi to win it this year? with Xavier being out, I think that would have been cool. They could both say they were kings of the ring. They're the only tag team in the company right now that could do that. And I dare say they might be the only tag team ever, active tag team, right? Because you can't look at like, oh, they were a tag team, then they split, and then they became Kings of the Rings, or they were Kings of the Rings, and then they got together. No, I'm talking like they're an active tag team, and they become.
Yeah, you could have had some unique stats going on with that.
Yeah, so there was a lot of different ways to tell that story. So yeah, that's where it would have been nice, but knowing what we have the potential of, we have a potential for Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso to become King of the Ring. We have an opportunity for Lyra Valkyria to become Queen of the Ring. Even if Nia wins, there's a good spot for Nia to help boost her career and her place on the main roster again.
And then you look at join the bloodline.
Yeah, and then you look at the ring general Gunther, and that just fits. He's the ring general, but now he's also the king of the ring. Tell me you're going to keep somebody relevant without telling me you're going to keep somebody relevant.
I mean, I feel like King of the Ring would work better on Jey.
Oh, I think it works tremendously on Jey, but we're not in a position where it's bluntly obvious of what direction they're going to go.
Yes.
Right? I think the only one where it's like, is Tama Tonga. I don't think Tama Tonga is walking out as the king of the ring.
Especially if he faces someone like Gunther.
Exactly. He doesn't need it right now. You don't need to put him up against anybody that isn't directly involved in bloodline business right now.
And like you said earlier, that could almost put in jeopardy Solo Sikoa.
But Tama's only going to see the finals if Jay's standing across the ring for him. Because they want Tama to be this big, dominant, SOB. You're not going to pull that off against Gunther.
You mean like they tried with Solo Sikoa in the beginning?
Yeah. But they're learning from the mistakes of Solo. Because even Solo worked for a really long time until he didn't. Right? Because he'd already proven he can beat up everybody.
Yeah.
That was the problem. You've beaten up everybody. No one wants to see you go back and run it back again.
Run it back? No.
No, stop it. So, and Randy Orton, one thing he's never done, he's never been King of the Ring. If Randy's gonna go out in the next 2 years, 3 years, he's probably gonna want to be King of the Ring. You're probably gonna want to make him King of the Ring. That's somebody to where he doesn't need to do a lot to get that. We'll call it the title because it's not really a title.
Tag champ, U.S. champ, IC champ, world champ, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. Why not add King of the Ring to that?
I mean, if you look at Randy's accomplishments, just in WWE, right? Because he's got some like awards and different things like that. Just WWE. He is a 10-time WWE champion, a 4-time World Heavyweight champion, a WWE Intercontinental champion, a WWE United States champion. He was a World Tag Team champion with Edge, and he was a 2-time Raw Tag Team champion with Riddle. He was a SmackDown Tag Team champion. He won the Money in the Bank in 2013. He is a 2-time Royal Rumble winner in 2009 and 2017. He was the 17th Triple Crown champion. Under the current format, he was the 10th Grand Slam champion, 18th overall. He's a 2-time Slammy Award winner. And in 2018, he won the WWE Award for Shocking Moment of the Year. Not to mention his Wrestling Observer awards, or, lack thereof, the PWI Award. In 2008, he was number 1 on the PWI Top 500. He was the Wrestler of the Year in 2009, 2010. Those were great years for him. Right? The only thing Randy has never done is King of the Ring. So you could, if Randy is going to walk away from it all, because he started training in 2000. He's been in the wrestling business, other than growing up in the damn thing. He's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century.
This would be the time.
There's ever a time to do it, because next year it's going to be the year of Randy Orton. Right? Second generation superstar. Or is he a third generation? I think he's a third generation superstar.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's a third generation because his grandfather Bob Orton, his uncle Barry Orton, and his father Bob Orton Jr. So yeah, he's a third generation superstar. So I could make a huge case for Randy Orton to win King of the Ring. Huge. All right, we got about 15 minutes left, and I want to kind of pick your brain on just some AEW stuff. I know.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, because we haven't talked about it. Since Swerve won the title, we haven't really talked about anything that has gone on. What do you think about Brian Cage and company turning on Swerve a couple weeks ago?
It's a way to get Swerve face without turning the others.
My guess is behind it?
Do what?
What's the logic behind it, though?
I guess because the fans are so behind Swerve right now, it's just better off to make him a baby face than it is to keep him heel.
But
right now, his little faction he had was better off as heels than they were baby faces.
But you've established him through this whole build for him becoming the champion that the faction was a non-issue. Mm-hmm. You could have very easily written him away from the faction without anybody bringing up the faction.
I know.
And then you decided to have them turn on him because he was going up against, like, he was having a promo with Christian, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christian, who has his own walking, like, again, AEW is just the NFL and wrestling types at this point. Everybody's got a team and a division and, you know, a clique and
everybody's in a faction. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally connect everybody through some kind of faction, which is dumb.
It's NWO Light.
It's WCW Light.
That too. You got the NWO. You got the NWO Wolfpack. You got the Latino World Order. You got the short people world order, the fat people world order. I mean, you could go all day with this, with everybody over there, all the factions and tag teams and everybody's together team. I mean, come on.
And then you think about, like, they've got all this stuff going on with Adam Copeland and Malachi Black and the House of Black, which just feels like they were getting a shut the fuck up chant Wednesday night. Malachi was. They could not give less of a damn.
It shows you how bad Tony has used these guys.
Well, look at next weekend. Next weekend, you've got Jeddah for King and Queen of the Ring on Saturday. And then the very next night, you have
Wembley.
Double or Nothing. No, it's in Nevada.
I thought this one was Wembley.
No, Wembley's not till the summer.
Oh, that's right. Wembley's in August. I'm dumb.
Where you're going to have Mercedes Moné take on Willow Nightingale for the AEW TBS title. What a fall from grace Mercedes Moné had in 2 years.
Woo! No. Hold on.
You're fighting for a title. Hold on, stop. I saw this and I loved it. You're fighting for a title it's named after a network that shows old reruns of Friends and Family Guy. What are we doing?
I mean, she has fallen from grace, and then Willow's promo blasting her. Oh, I love me, Willow. That promo was priceless Wednesday night. Roger
Strong versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship. Timeless Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Is it bad?
Why the hell are we putting Serena Deeb in that spot?
I don't remember the background on that one. I mean, she come back from I think a stroke or something like that, and
Something like that.
Now she's, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what the storyline was to that. It lost me. I've become a big fan of Toni Storm now all of a sudden because her promos are just getting ridiculously great and out of hand.
But they should have already been great. She's been champion for a while. Right? And they were good, but they should have been better.
Because at this point, who's taking it off of her?
Right. It should have been Mercedes. If you were going to do Deanna, it should have been Mercedes.
Well, the problem is now for that side of the fence, you have Deanna and Thunder Rosa going at it. So what? When they're done, the winner that's just going to go on to take a bite out of Toni Storm again?
I have no idea.
Because that's kind of how you're going with this.
Their women's division is so convoluted and screwed up.
You're waiting on Britt to come back.
But why wait on Britt when you have Mercedes, Deanna, Thunder, Tony, right? Willow,
Mariah May.
Chris Statlander.
You have plenty of women. Willow Nightingale could drop that title and go right for that women's title and still be fine.
You have a stacked women's division, but you have no idea what you're doing. You black sweatshirt wearing douchebag.
What you need for this women's division is someone along the lines of Fit Finley and why does his name escape me? Natty's husband.
TJ.
You get someone like those two and leave them alone with the women's division, you've got gold. Solid gold. Tony needs to step away and put somebody like those two in that spot.
Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage for the title.
I'm fine with that. You set up a pretty good spot for that.
Yeah, you built that well. I don't like the fact that you've got Nick Wayne and his mom and Killswitch. Like, all of that has really made Christian just really convoluted, and I'm over it. And we'll talk about this more next week, and Pete and I will. You're obviously not going to be around for Comic Palooza. We got about less than 10 minutes left, which, by the way, we'll talk about Comic Palooza after we get off the air. You and I will. But you have the Elite, Okada, Perry, and the Jacksons versus Team AEW, which I think is stupid. Bryan Danielson, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and Darby Allin in an Anarchy in the Arena match.
See, here's what bugs me.
Oh,
I get it. What's his name? Broke his leg in Japan.
Yeah.
You need a replacement. I'm fine with that. Cool. Freak accident happened. Don't give me a replacement of someone who's still injured and then just recently got hit by a freaking bus.
Yep.
You're going to drag him back into the ring.
Literally.
For a match that's going to kill him.
Literally. And then in your infinite wisdom, you're going to do a barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship, because that's worked really well in the past. Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black. Oh, hey, by the way, we're going to give New Japan a month before Forbidden Door. We're going to do an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship eliminator match. Moxley versus Takeshita. And if Takeshita wins, he'll get a future IWGP World Championship match. So tell me your main event for Forbidden Door without telling me your main event for Forbidden Door. And then in one of the dumbest moves on the face of God's green earth, Trent Beretta turned on Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. And we're going to do Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy for no bloody reason. Because Orange Cassidy doesn't have any titles. There's no reason why you break that up. None.
It's because the other one is truly injured and he's pretty much.
Who cares? Who cares that he's truly injured?
No, he's pretty much forced to retire right now at this point.
Half your roster is truly injured.
This is true.
That's my point. But that's going to be next. We got a lot to talk about next week. It will be Pete and I on. Hopefully, Pete will be back. Obviously, he has some family things to tend to. But Pete and I will be back on next week. If not, we may call in some reserves. There's new backup in the brand. Maybe we'll call some in some reserves, get some people on here to do this with me next week. But we want to thank our sponsor, Allen Z Travel, for specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. I thank you guys for hitting that like, commenting in, hitting the subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, give us a follow. Make sure you guys are checking us out every single day. There's programming all week long. If you're listening to us back on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or Speaker, make sure you guys give us a like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of the content that we're putting out over there. And check back. Things are uploaded daily. We have clips all week long. Everything. Don't miss a minute of the action. But for Butters, I'm Rich. We'll see you all next week. Until then, peace, love, and joy. I'm out.